Hello, my name is Linus, and in this video I'm going to talk about limiting beliefs. I think we all have this friend or colleague who has great potential, who has knowledge and expertise in the things that he is doing. He has skills, he has experience, but for some reason, the person is not performing at his best. And we always wonder what could be the reason. I think you have heard this person saying many times, I'm not able to do this, I'm not enough, I'm not qualified enough, this is too much for me. And I think it sounds really frustrating because as a person from the outside, you know how this person is capable, you know how good he or she is, and yet you keep hearing these stories, these self-limiting beliefs and thoughts that are always there, and quite frankly, you cannot do anything much, right? You can just be a friend, a colleague, and say, stop doing this. And the thing is that these limiting beliefs are not just some random thing that happened for you or for him just now or recently. These things are usually coming from the early childhood or from the early past, somewhere from the age of 0 to 7 years old or somewhere in the teenage years. Some events or authority figures, authority voices, or just people saying that you're not able to do something. You are bad at this, or you are not meant to perform something. I think there is no person on earth who did not have these voices, these people who told him, don't touch, don't go, don't believe that you can do anything. Some beliefs are worse than the other ones, and I'm not going to go much deep into that. However, I want you as a listener to understand how powerful are these limiting beliefs and beliefs in general, because primarily belief eventually turns into a thought. A thought is turning into a feeling, and the feeling is turning into the action. And you know what is next? The action is turning into the results, into the quality of life that you're having, of the kind of life that you're having for yourself. I will give you an example of Tommy. Tommy is an executive manager in the company. However, he is being limited by self-doubt that he is not good enough for the position that he is in, and he will not be able to climb any higher in his career. The way it happened is when Tommy was a child, somewhere around 1 or 2 years old, he was trying to climb a tree. And he struggled, he tried really hard, and he was crying and he was frustrating and he was not able to climb the tree, although he really wanted. His father was passing by and seeing the frustration of his child. He wished him best, however, he told the worst. He said, don't try to climb this tree. You are not meant to climb this tree now. You are too small, you are too weak. And this really hit hard young Tommy, because later on, whenever he was attempting to do something challenging, something harder than the usual experience, he used to remember his father's words, don't try, you're not good enough, you are too young, leave it to someone else. And he had these experiences in his life which was supporting and even reinforcing these limiting beliefs, although his father loved him and he wished him the best. And long story short, here is Tommy, an executive of the company, somehow reached this level, and yet he has this limiting belief, he has this limiting doubt in himself that he's not good enough and he cannot go any further than that. He's kind of pretending who he is not, and he got there by luck or by chance, although it was led by his knowledge and his experience. How we identify people or limiting beliefs, that these beliefs are limiting us. Let's say there is 4 most common limiting beliefs categories that are there. The first one, I'm not able. Just as in Tommy's example, I'm not good enough to achieve certain position. I'm not able to be the champion of the sport. I'm not able or I'm not meant to be something great, something inspiring, someone motivational. The next one is, I don't know. I don't know where to find it. I don't know how to do something. I don't know how to code. I don't know how to start a business. I don't know how to sell. I don't know how to drive, right? So this is the current moment. You in this situation doesn't mean that it will not change. In the beginning, you didn't know how to walk or how to talk or how to read, and yet you learned, right? If you believe this, you might not have been where you are now. The third one is, I'm not able. I'm not able to run a marathon, right? I'm not able to do sales. I'm not able to create a great relationship. I'm not able to find friends, which used to be my limiting beliefs, right? Or I'm not able to present something great or present on the stage. I think we all have this stage fear. The next one is nowhere or nowhere to be found. I don't know where to find a good job. I don't know where to find opportunities. There is nowhere I can meet great or inspiring people. There is nowhere possible to find a great partner or form a great relationship. So this is about your environment, that you're not able to find something in your environment. So these limiting beliefs, however, can be solved. And that's why we use NLP. And that's what NLP, as neuro-linguistic programming, is teaching us. It's teaching our subjective, personal experience change into something empowering, free us from our limiting beliefs, from our actions and thoughts that are limiting our potential, and to transform into something empowering and inspiring. There are many techniques in NLP that we are using, but I'm going to share with you just 3 of them that you might be using for yourself or for your colleagues when you hear these limiting beliefs that they are talking about. The first one is reframing. Reframing the experience or the context where this experience has happened or this voice is being heard. Secondly, there is submodalities. Submodalities are your visual, kinesthetic, hearing, and audio senses that you have that are forming this experience or making you to hear or see these voices that you or someone else is having. And the third one, probably most powerful, is timeline therapy. Timeline therapy is not a therapy, it's just a technique that is teaching us in a very powerful way to move forward in our experience, going into the past, collecting your real resources and going into the future to apply it. Now, as you learned these few things about limiting beliefs and the techniques of NLP, what you can do in this moment when you hear someone in your environment complaining or saying that they are not able to do or to achieve something. If you want to apply a reframing, there are 2 ways. There is 1, content reframing, and 2, there is context reframing. For example, someone says, I'm not able to sell something, right? The context reframing means that, well, you might not be able to sell the tires for the farmers, right? But you have sold yourself for this job, right? You have a wife, right? You have a relationship. You were able to sell yourself for your partner, right? They bought into being with you in a relationship. Someone somewhere in the past have listened to your advice. Yes or no? Most likely yes. That means you sold your idea. You sold the product without being aware of it. So regardless of the fact that you're not able to sell something, you did sell it, right? So this is reframing of the context. Now, reframing of the meaning. This means that you change the meaning of the belief. For example, someone says, I'm not able to sell, right? Your response could be, you don't need to sell. You just need to explain to the customer how your product or a service helps him or her to solve the problem, right? All you need is just to explain in a very understandable, comprehensive way how the customer can benefit from your product and how the product is solving their problem. And the sale will happen automatically. All you need to do is to say the price and send agreement to sign. That's all it takes, right? So we already have two ways how to solve the problem with reframing. So if we want, for example, to apply some modalities, right, we have to change how person is seeing the problem. And in this way, let's have two pictures, okay? The first picture is the actual sales situation where a person feels disempowered, where he says, I'm not able to sell, where he feels low confidence, stressed and anxious. And the second image that we have is a situation where a person feels resourceful, for example, confident, creative, right? And just remember a memory where you felt confident and creative, right? You just remember how you experienced this memory, this situation, and all these modalities, what you see, what you hear, and what you feel, you transfer into the image where you feel disempowered, right? So, for example, if a empowering memory is bright, colorful, many voices, and you're looking good at that, and there's some applause in there, right? You transfer these modalities, these things, into your disempowering image where people applaud you, where there's a lot of light, colors, and motivating voices, and just allow the experience to change. Just notice the difference how you see this moment. And the third technique, the timeline therapy, is kind of similar to the changes of submodalities, which means that you identify first what resources you might need to act the way you want in this situation. As I mentioned before, you might want to have confidence, right? You might have to have creativity. And let's say the third one, you want to be present, right? So you go into the past in different moments in the past where you were confident, where you felt creative, and when you felt maximum present. You relive those memories again, what you see, what you hear, what you feel, right? And then you go into the situation which you had recently and allow these resources to manifest in this situation. Allow yourself to be confident, allow yourself to be creative, allow yourself to be present, and see how situation is changing. The next step is to see the future situations where you are performing the same action. Let's say these are sales, right? You might even see a bigger clients, heavier sales, right? More resistance. And you see how these resources channeling you to be a better salesperson, a better client for your customer, and just sell your ideas, sell your products. So this is a timeline therapy where you go in the past, you take the resources, you go to the present, you fix your problem, you go to the future, you fix your problem in the future as well. So you do great timeline traveling and you fix your problems. And that's how Tommy could fix his problems also, by just traveling into the past and finding his resources there. Now, as you learned all this information about what are limiting beliefs, how they are formed, what is NLP, and how NLP techniques can be solving these limiting beliefs, you have now the power to change someone else's life. And I strongly encourage you to go out there, test, see how it works, improve it, and give me feedback in the comments. How did it go for you? Thank you for watching this video. See you in the next one.